Welcome back to World Crisis Radio, the radio program that does not view the U.S. Constitution as quaint. Of course, our Constitution has a general welfare clause in it, but it's also got a natural-born citizen clause. And we now want to welcome our friend Phil Berg, distinguished lawyer from Philadelphia. Phil was on ABC Nightline Twittercast this week, and in order to oppose him, some of you may have seen, they dredged up a beachcomber, a superannuated beach boy with a motor mouth who never shut up. But Berg made the main points and I think struck a blow for the Constitution. Welcome, Phil.
My pleasure. Yeah, they really ganged up on me on Nightline Twitter, but I think I held my own.
Tell us, for those who didn't see it, and tell us where they can find it, and give us a quick summary.
Well, it's hard to find, but we're going to post it on our website. The best place, ObamaCrimes.com, is the best place to get it. It's hidden away, but it's a Nightline show. Twitter, it's on every Monday at 12:30 in the afternoon live. It's hard to find, through the Nightline, but we'll have it posted. Things are going well. I mean, listen, that's ABC, that's major, even though they attacked me. This story is growing and growing and growing, thanks to people like you who have me on all the time and other people. I was just down at Independence Hall a few minutes ago taking a picture. There's a Philadelphia Weekly, which is a newspaper that comes out, weekly around here, and I'm the front page profile story next week. It's growing, and as Obama drops in the polls, I think, and we can raise the public awareness, we're going to force the issue. My 3 cases are pending. They're sitting dormant right now. I mean, we're waiting patiently for a hearing, which should be any time, and the court's delaying it, and I'm not sure why. But in Washington, D.C., on my sealed case, which is now unsealed, where I have alleged in my motion for reconsideration that Attorney General Eric Holder has a major conflict of interest here, so the government really should not be involved in this case. They should either turn the case over to me to prosecute or appoint a special prosecutor. Eric Holder was on the campaign committee of Obama. He was one of 3 individuals on the committee to select the vice president, which elected Biden. And he's the attorney general, which is the highest law enforcement officer in the state. And with that, he gives advice to the president. So if there were ever a conflict, there's a conflict there. I'm waiting for the court to decide what to do on it. This is the same judge who said he had no input into anything on the False Claims Act. So that's where the case is now, and we'll have to see what happens with that. The other case is the Hollister case, the retired Air Force Colonel Hollister. That case is on appeal to the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals, and we're in a briefing schedule. The other case is the standing issue, which is now in the Third Circuit Court of Appeals. We have a date on that, October 26th, for oral argument. So I'm not going away. This topic is getting bigger and bigger as we go, and we'll see where it progresses.
Phil, October 26th, where?
That'll be in the Third Circuit Court of Appeals in Philadelphia.
So let's mark our calendars, October 26th. See you in the city of brotherly love.
Now, before that, hopefully in the next few weeks, we should have a hearing scheduled in the Washington, D.C. District Court. And that was a sealed case, but it's now unsealed. So we'll get that date out, and hopefully we can get a lot of people there to support that issue. I think that's the major issue. We have to get the public awareness up. We have to start getting pressure on Obama. On his first day in office, people have to know he signed an order sealing all his documents. How absurd is that? I mean,
what do you mean all his documents?
Everything. He sealed everything. He sealed all of his documents. That means
you mean his personal documents, like the Columbia transcript and so forth?
Occidental, Columbia, Harvard, the records from his state senate in Illinois, his birth records, his passport records, all his records are sealed. What are you stealing? What are you hiding? He's already spent over $1 million in defending my lawsuit. I have 3 pending, and all the other lawsuits around the country. You don't spend $1 million to hide over a $25 birth certificate. So there's something missing there. He's dropping in the polls. People are saying he's talking out of both sides of his mouth. He's sending this country into an enormous debt, and it's time that we demand the truth, and we'll get the truth, and we'll follow through on that.
Phil, every executive order has a number. Do you happen to know the number on that executive order?
No, I don't. But
this would be of tremendous interest because that allows you then to refer to a specific document, specific date. Everybody remembers Reagan's 12333 privatizing so many intelligence community functions. That can become a really vital public issue if we can get the number. I would be so interested to know the number.
Well, we'll have to try to find it.
Great. I'm going to ask the National Security Archive here because this is supposedly up their alley. Let's see if they're in the tank for Obama.
Well, that would be very good. But
all right.
Everyone should go.
In terms of the false claims, when do you think that might be here in Washington, D.C.?
I don't know. It should be any time now, but we haven't got notice. We're watching the dockets. We're waiting for notice from that. So that should come up in the next couple of weeks, unless the court
this
decides
summer,
to sit on
soon.
It should be. Yes, it should.
Right. Okay. If not, then we know. What's what.
Yep. Well, the big thing now is I need everyone again to go to my website, obamacrimes.com.
Phil, I would point out, as I'm sure you realize, the immediate prelude to the mass mobilization at the town halls was a period of about 2 weeks of absolute frenzied insanity by the media whores about precisely the birthers, the birth certificate. All congressmen were asked. We had, Chris Matthews every day, every interview, every other word was this. So in some ways, you have helped to detonate this entire period now of democratic expression. I'm thinking of the comparison, right? You had the Queen's necklace affair for Marie Antoinette, although it seemed to be something that came out of left field, was indeed one of the main things that started off the French Revolution. As Napoleon later said, the Queen's necklace affair detonated the French Revolution. So maybe you've done something similar, something that goes even beyond the specific issue to a general challenge to government and the oligarchy.
Yeah, well, I hope so. I mean, listen, I'm so proud that I was able to bring this topic forward. Like I said, I don't care who crosses the finish line. There's other cases out there, but this has to be told. This country, he's sending us into a socialist country, which is not good. This medical thing he keeps pushing. And also, at these tea parties, I've understand from supporters that people are raising this birthing issue at the tea parties, but you notice the national media is not covering it at all.
Right, and as you found out, I think the national leadership of the Tea Parties is also hostile. There's a guy called Leahy, the National Tea Party Coalition. This is probably a Republican or reactionary operative.
Yeah, I mean, I said we should join together. He said, no, it's not the same issue. It's not the same issue, but my issue is even bigger than his issue. Because
right, and
if
you're the leading edge of his issue.
Right. If he's not legit, then we don't have to get to these other issues. So I thank everyone that has supported us up to now. I needed more support. Let's keep pushing ahead, and I appreciate everything you do for us.
Wonderful, Phil. We're going to be with you week by week as we go into the autumn, because this issue is going to get bigger and bigger, and people still want to know why can't we see that typewritten 1961 birth certificates are typewritten. They have pen and ink signatures on them. They're not generated by a computer. They're not printouts. They're the old-fashioned typing and writing with a pen. And it has about 45 different pieces of information on it, and nobody has seen it.
Right. Well, you haven't seen it because, we haven't seen his birth certificate from Hawaii because it's not from Hawaii. This guy was born in Kenya. It's the biggest fraud in our country in 230 years, the biggest hoax in our country. And we're hoping now that people will come forth with it. If people can make a contribution, we could use donations.
Okay, we'll see you next week, Phil. ObamaCrimes.com.